Right now, something feels off. Maybe you woke up this morning and the same routine felt heavy. Maybe you opened your English app and closed it. Maybe you wanted to speak in that meeting, at that coffee shop, in that comment section, but you stayed quiet. Again, that feeling, when everything feels wrong, it's not a sign you're broken. It's a signal. You're done reacting. You're ready to respond. Here's the truth most people won't tell you. Feeling wrong isn't weakness, it's awareness. It means you're awake, not numb. And being awake is uncomfortable. It stings. It asks questions you don't have answers for yet. But numb is worse. Numb is scrolling. Numb is waiting. Numb is telling yourself, I'll start tomorrow, while tomorrow keeps moving further away. There are two lives in front of you right now. In one life, you close this video. You go back to the same thoughts, the same doubt, the same silence. You stay stuck. You plan to improve your English, but you don't speak. You want to feel better, but you don't move. You're safe, you're comfortable, and you're slowly disappearing. In the other life, you stay. You use this exact feeling, this heaviness, this frustration, this sense that something has to change as fuel. You don't wait to feel ready. You decide that moving forward, even when it's messy, is better than standing still. You rebuild your confidence and your English at the same time, in the same moment, because they've always been connected. This video is for the second life, the one where you stop saying, I can't do this, and start saying, I'm doing this now. Not later, not when you're ready. Now, I'm going to share a story, then a method. Then we'll practice together, out loud, simple, real. No fluff, no tricks, just clarity and action. By the end, you'll have words in your mouth and a shift in your chest. You'll know what to say when doubt shows up. So if everything feels wrong, good. That means you're in exactly the right place. Let's begin. You just chose the second life. You stayed. Now, let's talk about why this moment matters more than you think. When life feels off, when you're stressed, uncertain, overwhelmed, what's the first thing that goes? Your English practice. You tell yourself, I'll focus on English when things calm down, when I have more time, when I feel better, when I'm ready. It sounds reasonable. It feels safe. But here's the problem. That right time never comes. You're waiting for comfort before you start. But language growth doesn't happen in comfort. It happens in discomfort. Every time you search for a word, stumble through a sentence, or push yourself to speak when your heart is racing, that's growth. That's the work. And when you avoid that discomfort today, you guarantee you'll feel it tomorrow. Except tomorrow it's heavier, because now you're carrying the weight of another day you didn't try. This is the trap. Later versus now. Later feels easier. Later promises you'll be ready. But later is a lie. Later keeps you stuck in the same loop, wanting to improve, planning to improve, but never actually doing it. Now is messy. Now is uncomfortable. But now is the only place change happens. So here's the truth you need to hear. Your emotional block and your English block are not separate problems. They're the same problem. You don't speak because you're afraid of making mistakes. You don't practice because you don't feel good enough. You don't try because you've already decided it won't work. That doubt, that hesitation, that voice saying, not yet, it's stealing your progress and your peace. This video is going to address both. Not one or the other. Both. We're going to deal with the emotional weight, the feeling that everything is wrong, that you're not ready, that you should wait. And at the same time, we're going to equip you with accessible English patterns you can use immediately. Real sentences. Clear examples. Practice. You'll do out loud. Right here. With me. This isn't a lecture. It's a journey. A story in chapters. You're the hero. And like every hero, you'll face obstacles, meet a mentor, hit a turning point, and come out different on the other side. Every section builds something. Courage and language, confidence and clarity, belief and skill. You won't just watch. You'll participate. You'll speak. You'll prove to yourself that you can do this. So let go of later. Later is not your friend. Now is where your power lives. Now is where your voice is waiting. And now is exactly when we begin to rebuild. Not someday, not when you're ready, but today, together. One honest step at a time. The question isn't whether you're ready. The question is, what happens when you stop waiting? So what happens when you stop waiting? You try, and that's when the real struggle shows up. Let me show you what I mean. 3 people, 3 moments. Same feeling. First, Maria. She's B1. She works remotely for an international company. Her reading and writing are decent. She understands most emails. But twice a week, there's a team video call, and every time she prepares. She writes notes. She practices sentences in her head. She tells herself, "Today I'll speak." Then the call starts. Someone asks a question. She knows the answer. She opens her mouth. And nothing. She blanks. The words vanish. Her mind goes empty. Someone else answers. The moment passes. She stays on mute. Again. Here's the truth Maria is living. Planning is not the same as speaking. She spends hours preparing and 0 seconds actually talking. She thinks the problem is her English. But the real problem is she's waiting for perfect words that don't exist. So she stays silent. She exists in the meeting, but she doesn't live in it. Second, Karim. He's 17. He loves gaming. His English is good when he types. He watches videos. He reads forums. He understands almost everything. But when his online friends ask him to join a voice call, he says no. He makes excuses. He says his mic is broken. He says his family is too loud. The truth? He's terrified. He thinks his accent sounds wrong. He thinks he'll say something stupid. He thinks they'll laugh. So he types instead. Fast, safe, invisible. Here's the truth Karim is facing. He's choosing safe silence over messy, imperfect action. He wants to sound like the streamers he watches, the native speakers, the people who never stumble. He compares his beginning to their highlight reel. And every time he does, he freezes. He thinks he's protecting himself. But really, he's stealing his own progress. He's existing in the chat. He's not living in the conversation. Third, Diane. She's 31. She moved to a new country 2 years ago. She takes English classes. She studies every week. She knows grammar rules. She can write a formal email. But at the grocery store, the coffee shop, the park with her daughter, she goes quiet. She lets her partner do the talking. She smiles and nods. She understands most of what people say, but when it's her turn to speak, she hears her accent. She hears her mistakes. And she thinks, they can tell I don't belong here. Here's the truth Diane is carrying. She thinks speaking with an accent is proof she's failing. She believes fluency means sounding like someone else. So every conversation becomes a test she's sure she'll fail. She plans what to say, but when the moment comes, she hands it to someone else. She's living in her new country, but she's not living in her new language. 3 people. 3 different lives. Same trap. They all believe that speaking, with pauses, with mistakes, with an accent, with imperfect words, is proof they're not good enough. So they wait. They prepare. They stay silent. And the silence feels safer than the risk. But here's what no one tells you. That feeling, the one that says everything feels wrong when you try to speak, it's not proof you're failing. It's proof you're trying something unfamiliar. And unfamiliar always feels wrong at first. I want you to hear something. A whisper. A mentor moment. It might sound small, but it changes everything. Wrong feelings are just unfamiliar feelings. When you blank, it's because your brain is working in 2 languages. That's not failure. That's effort. When you freeze, it's because you care about being understood. That's not weakness. That's courage showing up disguised as fear. When you compare yourself to native speakers, it's because you have a vision of who you want to become. That's not proof you're behind. That's proof you're on a path. The struggle isn't the problem. The struggle is the point. Maria, Karim, Diane, they're not stuck because they lack talent. They're stuck because they think living requires perfection. But living requires mess. Living requires trying, stumbling, saying the wrong word, laughing, trying again. Existing is clean. Existing is silent. Existing is safe. But you didn't stay in this video to exist. You stayed to live. And living means speaking before you're ready. It means choosing the unfamiliar over the comfortable. It means knowing you'll blank, you'll freeze, you'll compare, and doing it anyway. Because unfamiliarity is not your enemy. Unfamiliarity is where growth lives. So the question is not, why does speaking feel so hard? The question is, what if that hard feeling is exactly what proves you're moving forward? What if that hard feeling is exactly what proves you're moving forward? Hold that thought, because this is where everything shifts. The problem isn't your English. It's not your accent, your vocabulary, your grammar, or the country you were born in. The problem isn't even your circumstances. The problem is the story you're telling yourself about what all of this means. You're stuck in comparison. You look at native speakers and think, I'll never sound like that. You watch fluent learners and think, it's easy for them. You hear yourself stumble and think, I'm so bad at this. Comparison is a thief. It steals your focus. It steals your energy. And it steals the one thing that actually creates progress. Action. Here's the shift. Stop comparing. Start focusing. Not on where other people are. On what you can say right now. Not on perfection. On progress. Not on the 10 things you don't know. On the one thing you do. Let me show you what this looks like in real life. Truth, example, solution. Truth. The learners who break through aren't the ones with the best resources, the most time, or the perfect environment. They're the ones who change the question they ask themselves. Example. Meet Yuna. She's 24. She studied English in school for years. She knew grammar rules. She passed exams. She understood movies with subtitles. But she couldn't speak. Every time she tried, she froze. She'd think, why is this so hard for me? Everyone else can do this. What's wrong with me? That question became a loop. It made her feel weak. It made her want to quit. And it kept her silent for 2 more years. Then one day, her manager at work asked her to lead a client call in English. She panicked. She thought about saying no. But something in her shifted. She stopped asking, why is this so hard? And started asking, what can I say right now? Not, what's the perfect way to introduce myself? Just, what can I say right now? Not, how do I explain this complicated idea without making mistakes? Just, what can I say right now that moves the conversation forward? She said simple things. She said, hello, my name is Yuna. I'm happy to meet you. Let me explain our plan. She paused. She searched for words. She made mistakes. But she didn't stop. She responded. She didn't perfect. Solution. That's the method. 3 words. Respond. Don't perfect. Respond means you show up. You say something. You take your turn. You don't wait until you have the flawless sentence. You offer the honest one. You don't freeze because you forgot a word. You use a different word. You keep going. You focus on communication, not performance. Don't perfect means you let go of the fantasy. The fantasy that fluency means never pausing, never searching, never making a mistake. That's not fluency. That's a highlight reel. Real fluency is messy. It's choosing progress over perfection every single time. It's knowing you'll stumble and speaking anyway. Respond, don't perfect. That's the turning point. Now let's talk about identity. Because here's what's really happening when you say, I'm bad at English. You're not describing a fact. You're choosing an identity. An identity shapes everything. If you believe you're bad at English, you'll avoid speaking. You'll give up faster. You'll interpret every mistake as proof you were right. But what if you chose a different identity? What if you're not bad at English? What if you're someone building English in real time? Not someone who has arrived. Someone who is arriving. Not someone who failed. Someone who is trying. Listen, I want to share a second mentor moment. This one comes from a teacher I met years ago. A student in her class kept apologizing. Sorry, my English is terrible. Sorry, I made a mistake. Sorry, I'm so slow. Every sentence started with sorry. The teacher stopped her. She said this: "Don't apologize for building something. You're not breaking the language. You're using it. Every mistake is proof you tried. Every pause is proof you're thinking. Every imperfect sentence is proof you showed up. Stop saying sorry. Start saying, I'm learning." Because learning is not something to apologize for. It's something to be proud of. That student cried. Because she realized she'd been treating her effort like a failure. She'd been punishing herself for not being perfect. And the moment she let go of perfect, she started to grow. Not because her English suddenly improved overnight, but because her story about herself changed. She stopped seeing herself as someone who couldn't. She started seeing herself as someone who was. That's self-compassion. That's grit. And that's the identity shift you need right now. You are not bad at English. You are building English. You are not behind. You are on your own timeline. You are not failing when you blank, freeze, or compare. You are human. And humans grow through mess, not around it. So here's what we're going to do next. We're going to practice. Not in theory, not someday, right now. I'm going to give you words to say, patterns to repeat, and moments to respond. Out loud. With me. You're going to hear your voice. You're going to prove to yourself that you can do this. Because responding starts now. Responding starts now. This is where we stop talking about English and start doing English. Together. Out loud. Here's the difference between this moment and every other video you've watched. Most of the time, you hear English. You listen, you nod, you understand. Then you close the video and nothing changes. Why? Because hearing is passive. Hearing is comfortable. Hearing doesn't build new pathways in your brain. Saying does. Saying is active. Saying is uncomfortable. Saying is how you take words from your head and put them in your mouth. And once they're in your mouth, they become yours. So we're going to say things together. I'll guide you. You'll repeat. You'll practice. You'll prove to yourself that you can do this. Ready? Let's start with shadowing. I'm going to give you 5 key lines from everything we've talked about. Your job is simple. Repeat each line out loud after me. Don't whisper. Don't just think it. Say it. Let your voice hear your voice. That's how confidence builds. Here's the first line. Listen, then repeat. I am not bad at English. I am building English. Say it now. Out loud. I am not bad at English. I am building English. Good. Again. I am not bad at English. I am building English. One more time. Feel the difference in those two identities. I am not bad at English. I am building English. Next line. Wrong feelings are just unfamiliar feelings. Repeat it. Wrong feelings are just unfamiliar feelings. Again. Wrong feelings are just unfamiliar feelings. Notice the word unfamiliar. Not bad. Not proof you're failing. Just unfamiliar. Say it once more. Wrong feelings are just unfamiliar feelings. Third line, I respond. I don't perfect, say it. I respond. I don't perfect, again, with confidence. I respond. I don't perfect. One more time. This is your new method. I respond. I don't perfect, fourth line. I choose progress over perfection. Repeat. I choose progress over perfection. Again. I choose progress over perfection. Feel that choice. It's yours. Every time, say it. I choose progress over perfection. Fifth line. I'm doing this now. Not later. Now, say it. I'm doing this now. Not later. Now, again, louder. I'm doing this now. Not later. Now. One more time. Let it land. I'm doing this now. Not later. Now. Excellent. You just shadowed 5 identity lines. You didn't just hear them. You said them. That's the difference. Now let's cycle vocabulary. I'm going to take 4 words we've used in this video and put them in new sentences. Then you'll create your own sentence with each word. The 4 words are freeze, respond, focus, progress. First word, freeze. Here's my sentence. When I don't know a word, I freeze. Now you make a sentence with freeze. It can be about English, about life, about anything. Say it out loud. Use the word freeze. Pause. Think. Say your sentence. Good. Here's another example. I used to freeze during conversations, but now I try to keep talking. Your turn again. Make a new sentence with freeze. Say it. Next word, respond, my sentence. I want to respond quickly when someone asks me a question. Now, you. Make a sentence with respond. Say it out loud. Pause. Say it. Another example. I will respond, even if my answer isn't perfect. Your turn. New sentence. Use respond. Say it. Third word, focus, my sentence. I need to focus on progress, not on mistakes. You try. Make a sentence with focus. Say it. Good. One more example. When I focus on what I can say, I feel stronger. Your turn. Another sentence with focus. Say it out loud. Last word, progress. My sentence. Progress happens when I practice, not when I plan. Your turn. Make a sentence with progress. Say it. Here's my second example. I see my progress when I compare myself to my past, not to other people. Now, you. One more sentence with progress. Say it. Beautiful. You just cycled 4 words. You heard them. You said them. You use them in your own sentences. Now they're closer to becoming automatic. Next, a mini role play. This is simple. I'm going to ask you a question, and you're going to answer it out loud. The question is about doubt, about that voice in your head that says, "You can't do this." Here's the situation. You're about to speak English, maybe in a meeting, maybe on a call, maybe at a store, and suddenly, doubt hits. The voice says, "You're going to mess this up. Just stay quiet." What will you say to that voice? What will you say when doubt hits? I'll give you a model first. Here's what I would say. I feel the doubt, but I'm speaking anyway. That's my response. Now you. What will you say when doubt shows up? Answer out loud. Talk to that voice of doubt. Pause. Think. Say your answer. Good. Here's another model. I might make mistakes, but I'm still going to try. Now you. Another answer. What will you say to doubt? Speak. One more model. I'm building my English right now, and that's enough. Your turn. Last answer. What will you say when doubt tries to stop you? Say it. Excellent. You just practiced responding to doubt in real time. Not in theory, in your own voice. Now, 3 quick comprehension checks. These are simple questions to make sure the big ideas are clear. Answer each question out loud in 1 or 2 sentences. Don't overthink it. Just respond. First question. What's the difference between reacting and responding? Think about it. Then say your answer out loud. Here's my answer if you need a model. Reacting is automatic. Responding is a choice. Second question. Why do we say respond, don't perfect? Say your answer, my model. Because perfection keeps us silent. Responding keeps us moving forward. Third question. What does it mean when you freeze or blank while speaking English? Say your answer out loud, my model. It means my brain is working hard. It doesn't mean I'm failing. Good. You answered. You thought. You spoke. Now let's bring it all together with one first-person model. I'm going to say a short paragraph, and then you'll repeat it, piece by piece. This is me speaking as a learner. This could be you. Here it is. I feel stuck sometimes, but I choose one small step. I don't wait for perfect conditions. I respond, even when I'm nervous. I focus on my progress, not other people's. I'm building my English in real time. And that's enough. Now you. Repeat after me, 1 sentence at a time. I feel stuck sometimes. Say it. But I choose one small step. Say it. I don't wait for perfect conditions. Say it. I respond, Even when I'm nervous, say it. I focus on my progress, not other people's. Say it. I'm building my English in real time. Say it. And that's enough. Say it. Now say the whole thing together. In your own voice. All of it. Go. There. You did it. You didn't just watch. You participated. You shadowed. You cycled vocabulary. You answered doubt. You checked your understanding. You spoke. This is the proof. Learning English and rebuilding confidence don't happen separately. They happen together, in the same moment, in the same breath. When you say the words, you become the person who says the words, and that person is already different from the one who started this video. So what happens next? You just did something most people never do. You spoke. You practiced. You moved forward while everything still feels uncertain. That's not luck. That's resilience. Think about where you were at the start of this video. You felt off. You doubted yourself. You wondered if this was the right time, if you were ready, if you could really do this. And you stayed anyway. You listened. You repeated lines out loud. You made sentences. You answered doubt. You proved, in real time, that you can show up for yourself even when it's hard. That's the ultimate resilience. Not waiting for the perfect moment. Not needing certainty before you begin. Just choosing one small step and taking it. Now let's lock in the identity shift. I want you to repeat 2 lines with me. Say them out loud. Let them replace the old story. First line, I am someone who responds, not someone who waits. Say it now. I am someone who responds, not someone who waits. Again. I am someone who responds, not someone who waits. Second line, I build my English by using it, not by avoiding it. Repeat. I build my English by using it, not by avoiding it. One more time. I build my English by using it, not by avoiding it. Good. That's your new identity. Someone who responds, someone who builds, someone who moves. Now I want to invite you to make one micro-commitment. Not a huge goal, not a perfect plan. Just one small action this week. Maybe it's one conversation in English. With a coworker, a classmate, a stranger at a coffee shop. Maybe it's one voice message instead of a text. Maybe it's asking one question out loud in a meeting, a class, or a comment section. Just one. Pick something small, something that scares you just a little. And do it. Not because you're ready, because you respond. If you want more of this, stories that build your English and your confidence at the same time, subscribe. Every video we make is designed like this one. Clear, practical, honest. We'll walk with you. We'll practice with you. You won't do this alone. And here's what I want you to remember when doubt comes back. Because it will come back. Doubt always does. Wrong feelings don't mean you're off track. They mean you're exactly where transformation begins. Discomfort isn't proof you're failing. It's proof you're trying something new. And trying something new is the only way to become someone new. You're not the same person who started this video. You've already changed. Now go speak. Go respond. Go live in your English, messy and imperfect and real. This is your new beginning. And it starts right now.